Howdy folks, Tim here at Terra Productions, and I got it back, and here it is, Tremolo all installed, and oh god does it look good. I'm so pleased with it. It's my friend SMB Guitars, a guy called Simon. He, a good friend of mine, he's always helped me out with guitar related things like this, and he helped me install this, and it took a lot longer than we wanted just because he's been busy. And for those of you who aren't UK based where I live, COVID's really been shitting on things over here in the UK, so deliveries are arriving late. I'm still waiting for the neck to arrive, the replacement neck. You know, it was supposed to be on its way like 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I'm still waiting. Took a long time to get the installation actually done. I've got a lot of parts on order for this. Reason and what those are I'll go into in a minute, but got a lot of bits on order. Probably going to be after Christmas, maybe even after New Year's at this point. Who knows? You know, at the end of the day, it's going to take as long as it takes, and we'll get there. But as for now, I mean, I'm really happy with this thing. Let me show you one of my prototype. So this is the part I had designed, and I drew out the design of it, and it's very similar to the Aristides bridges that they've just started doing. In fact, it now is a copy of the shape because I preferred it to the original design I was doing. So I'll explain what I've done and why I've done it. It started off as an Alnikov. In fact, give me a second. This is the base plate for the original bridge I was going to use on this guitar, and it's straight 90 degrees like most tremolo units are, and on a fan fret instrument where everything is fanned, the pickups, it all follows that arc and angle. I really didn't actually in the end decide I really didn't want to go with a 90 degree bridge. I think it really threw off the aesthetic. Not only that, it actually would have kind of gone out of the back end of the guitar. So one day I was thinking about it and it just came to me. Just redesign the base plate and use all the bits around it. Literally just replace this bit. Use the same block, use the same post, the same arm, all that stuff, and that's essentially what I ended up doing. That is where this guy comes in. If I don't drop it. See? So it's probably about that. You can see 90 degrees straight. 90 degrees and angled, I should say. And they're very similar. They use the same sort of, if I can get there, let's see if I can do this from the image. Making any pig there with this, but you get my point. So the top parts are all the same. The whole layouts are all the same. These areas are still the same. Same thickness. One's silver because it's just steel, and this one is anodized and painted over. But if we look at this one, you can see that despite the angle of the bridge, this hole here and this hole here, the two big ones there, are the two screws that lock onto the block. The block that goes into the body of the guitar is still 90 degrees. In the back of the guitar, the springs are still standard 90 degrees. It's only this base plate and the pivot points that are angled. Everything else is 90 degrees and goes straight like a normal traditional tremolo does. Now, my original design of this, before I saw the Aristides models, came all the way out to the top here and across and all the way out in line, and they basically did the same thing I've done or was doing, and they had a different angle on theirs, so it's slightly different, but they took these corners off, and it's a really good idea, so I copied them basically and just made a small alteration before I got it machined. And I've got a few more changes I need to make, because if I grab this one, which you'll recognize from my last video, these are the tan bridges. They slot right in into those little grooves. So it's on. And it works. It, however, doesn't work perfectly. So tuning stability, let me quickly go to... There we go. Pull up. Goes to tune. So, what's happening there? Well, I can tell you exactly what's happening there. So I had a couple of different people help me make this bridge. The first guy helped me draw up the CAD design for this, and that went fine. He did a really good job, and he's a chap called Arthur. We got this done up, did a few revisions, and I was like, cool. And I sent it off to another chap, a guy called Ahmed in... I can't remember where he is, actually. But he machined it for me. The knife edges in these little areas here didn't work out very well. So I'm going to see if I can get up close and personal with this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but basically the knife edge is not a knife edge. It's actually very rounded and actually still quite flat inside that gap. And that is why this trem, the one that's on the guitar, is not going back to tune, because there's no straight point for it to have its reference at. It's kind of rolling around this flat surface every time. So I've only had the guitar back a couple of days and I'm getting used to it and figuring out what I want to do for the new revision, because I'm going to make a newer version of it. A few little changes here and there. I'm going to try someone else to get the new ones machined and point out to them ahead of time, like these knife edge areas need to be right. So the next version of this bridge is going to be much better. And for the most part, that's the only real issue I've got. It's very tough though. You have to really kind of fight it to get anything to happen. And on top of that, the guy Simon, who did the routing for me, I didn't actually give him enough information, I think, and he hasn't really routed that much space out of the back. It doesn't pull up very much at all, and I wanted the same sort of freedom that a Floyd Rose has, so I'm going to have to route out a lot more wood in the back end here. But that's something I'm going to be able to do myself. The actual shape I mean, look how much of a good job he's done. I personally think it looks absolutely fantastic. Very good. And so I can route out a bit extra wood, make it a little bit deeper, give it a bit more freedom when pulling up. I've got a larger brass block to just help with tone, which is just a good thing to upgrade on any Floyd Rose or Tremolo unit anyway. Get a bigger brass block in the back. Your guitar will sound better for it. So I'm going to do that now that I've got all the routing done and I know how much space I've got to play with. I literally have here, they arrived this morning, some extra tension springs, because I've got 3 or 4 in there at the moment and it's maxed out. And I want to go to a tougher gauge string because I've got 9s on it at the moment and it's a bit too soft. I want a little bit more tension there, so I need to increase my spring tension. So I've got those there. So new brass block, new springs. I want to replace these pivots with some titanium ones, just because the knife edges are giving me a little bit of trouble at the moment. Might as well upgrade them. I'm in the mindset is I want to make this perfect. So let's do everything I can. That's going to be titanium. The new version of this bridge is probably going to be a month or 2. Being realistic about the state of the world. It'll probably be a month or 2 before I've got it, but it's hopefully going to be titanium as well. I've got a guy who can machine in titanium. Once we've finalised these little tweaks to the design I've made, I'll send him the CAD and check with him that he can do those bits, and if he can, we're golden, and we're going to have a titanium bridge with the tan bridges sitting on top just like this. Other than that, there's actually nothing bad about this at all, and I'm really happy that I'm doing this. For one, I think it looks so much better. I've missed having a trem unit. I really have missed having a trem. For the most part, it holds its tune. I can do dive bombs really easily, really well. I just can't do pull-ups, so my dime bag squeals, which I'm a fan of doing that sort of stuff. Can't really do them, and it doesn't always return to tune, but you know, give it a little nudge and it'll find its spot and it'll be in tune. So it's been a pretty big success so far. I'm certainly happy I did it. It was risky and scary because I got this beautiful guitar that I'm really, really happy with, and within a handful of weeks and months drilling great big holes into it and routing chunks of it out, but so far we're doing pretty well. Hopefully at some point the new neck is going to arrive. It looks lovely, so I'm really excited to get that on. The pickups are doing great, the electronics are doing great. This bridge, we're going to make a few changes, get a new revision made up, and I'm sure that's going to be a big success when that's done as well, and I'm going to be very happy with it. And not only that, I got that guitar over there as well the other day, so I'll gather my thoughts on that thing and tell you all about it in an upcoming video or two, because I've got some changes coming to that thing. I've got a whole new neck that I've got made coming on that guitar, and I installed some Fishman Fluence single coil pickups into it about 6 hours ago. So that's what I was doing all night, and why it's 6 o'clock in the morning right now. But there we go, a little bit of a rambly video, but there's the update. That's where we're up to. There actually is one other thing as well. A couple of weeks ago I put up a video about how to use Neural DSP plugins as standalone, all controlled from one MIDI control keyboard, and how to do that, and I've got a new version of that to make because I figured out the one issue I didn't figure out at the time, which was how to have your delays travel on, and I've got this really, really great setup happening now, and so I've figured it out basically, so I'm really, really happy about that. I've been playing with that I've literally again done it in the last couple of days since I got this back. I was like, I'm going to figure that out too. So a little bit of jamming at the end for you. So I'm gonna call it a day for this video. There will be more. There will be plenty more. My series of making a cheap Chinese imported guitar awesome is going entirely to plan, and it's gonna end up better than I expected. This guitar is great. I absolutely love it. I have loved every moment of owning it. I'm loving the Juggernaut, the bare knuckle Juggernaut pickups. I can't wait to get the new neck. I love the asymmetric profile, I love the headless design, I love the body, I love the way it looks, I love that I've got a tremolo on it now. I can't wait to get the new version tweaked and designed and made. And I'm probably going to be a little bit sad when it's all done. I'll be extremely happy because I'll have this amazing guitar, but it already is, really. A few little bits to improve, sure, but you know, I like these mod projects, and this one has been a lot of fun. It's not been disappointing like other guitars have been, and good times, good times. Hope you're all staying safe out there in the big wide world. Things are a bit shit over here in England, but we'll make it through. We'll all get through there together, won't we? Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all. I hope 2021 is better than 2020 was, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon. Cheers, guys.